Are we live?
Alright. Welcome, guys, to my YouTube channel, Cafe BuzzCo. Essentially my football lounge. Everything's going to be football content. And today's my first video. This video is also the video that kicks off my Euro 2016 coverage. And in this video, I would just like to get my predictions out there. I'll be posting videos during the tournament after various stages and analyzing the games and predicting what will happen next. But for this video, I'd just like to get my predictions out. We have Albania, France, Romania, and Switzerland in Group A. I'll start off talking a little bit about France. Now, there's two things I think that France has in this tournament that no other team has. The first thing is they're playing at home. And I think that that in and of itself is an advantage. But I think specifically for France, I think they're really comfortable playing in front of their own fans. They won the 1984 Euro and the World Cup in 1988 when they hosted it. And I think it's going to be similar here. I think they're really comfortable playing in front of their fans. And I think the second thing that they have that no other team has is their manager, Didier Deschamps. In addition to being a good manager, he led Monaco to a Champions League final in 2004. I think he has the experience of being at a major tournament and winning it. The Euro 2000, he was the captain of the side, and I think that he will draw upon that experience, and anything that he tells his players will hold that extra little bit of weight. So, when the players are going to be like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's been there, he's done it. And he's a very good manager. He has a 60% win rate with France. France have won 9 out of their last 10 games. So France is really entering the tournament in stride, in form. And if you look at their squad, right from the back, you've got Lloris, probably a top 10 goalie. Their back line is very solid. Evra and Sanya may have a little problems with pace out wide. Koscielny and Mangala will probably start for center back. I mean, on their day, Mangala can just royally screw something up. Koscielny can get a red card in the 30th minute, and there goes your tactical plan. But I think generally speaking, it's a very experienced and top-class backline. And Didier Deschamps likes to play 4-3-3 formation with 3 midfielders being Pogba, probably Sissoko, and Matuidi, although Kante might make the starting lineup. I mean, talk about power, talk about drive, talk about some skill in there, both going forward and going back. And that allows the front 3, spearheaded by most likely Olivier Giroud, and supplemented by Antoine Griezmann, and Payet probably will get the nod ahead of Martial. That's a really good team, and it's a really flexible lineup because if Deschamps needs to play a target man up front, then he can play Giroud. If he needs a little bit more, dribbling and then penetration and pace, he can play Anthony Martial. So I think France is a really flexible squad, and they can really tactically adjust to their opponent, and I think they've got a really good chance of going all the way in this tournament. But as for this group, I think they will top this group. I don't think they will get 9 points. It's possible. It's some people say it's likely, but I think there's some really good defensive sides. And I think they're going to get a draw. And those defensive sides are namely Albania and Romania. And I think they're actually very similar teams. Both are very organized and very defensive sides. They set up a little bit differently. Albania plays a 4-3-3 in a system where it quickly collapses into a 4-5-1. When on defense, they have a high press, try to get the ball back, and try to counterattack quickly. And the whole system revolves around high work rate. Every player has to have high work rate. Every player is expected to come back. The likes of Legnani and Roshi, even on the wings, and even the striker, Sokol Chikaleshi, are expected to press high, get the ball, and if the ball penetrates back into their own third, come back, help with the defense, and then start over. Romania have also a very organized defense, but their system is a 4-2-3-1, and it allows for a little bit more creativity, possibly a little bit more emphasis going forward. You've got Hoban, patrolling in front of the back line, and that gives the likes of Adrian Popa, Florin Andone, and Stanciu the license to try and create something for Romania. And these tactics played dividends in qualifying. Albania, at the back, Megri Mavra and Lorik Kana allowed those front players to, they got second in the group. They only lost 5 goals, 3 of them in stoppage time, and Romania only conceded 2 goals. I think that was the record. No other team conceded less goals. Now I take that stat a little bit with a grain of salt, because their group consisted of teams like Northern Ireland, Greece, and Hungary, Faroe Islands, not teams that score a bucket load of goals. So I'm taking it with a little bit of grain of salt, but it's still an impressive achievement, and the platform was built on Kikeres and Dragos Grigor. Same thing with Albania, who had Megri Mavra and Lorik Kana. Very similar systems, and it'll be interesting to see which team does better. And I think that the key for these teams is they've got good defenses, but who can take that step? Who can produce those few extra goals? Who can produce some magic for these teams? And that team will be the team that finishes higher in the group. And the last team in the group is a team that differs starkly from these defensive sides. Is a team which really doesn't have any problems with going forward, and that's Switzerland. And Vladimir Petkovic is a manager who, he likes a 3-4-3 system, but he plays a 4-3-3. He's a very attacking-minded manager. Switzerland had the second most amount of shots in qualifying with 155, just behind Germany, and they had the third most amount of goals with 24, just below, I think, again, Germany and Poland, I think. And he really allows his players to thrive in an offensive system. He lets those fullbacks, which he has great fullbacks, Steven Lichtsteiner and Ricardo Rodriguez, to go forward. He has Shaqiri, the main man for Switzerland, and he's got a midfield where Xhaka will take the playmaker role, and you have 2 hard workers in Gemaili and Valm Beirami, who will do a lot of running, who will act as almost box-to-box, attacking central midfielders. And the likes of Mehmedi, Bril and Bolo can come to the bench. They got a lot of attacking options. They like their free-flowing 4-3-3 football, and they're going to try to really make a stamp in this group. For my final predictions, like I said, I think France will top the group. I think Switzerland, with the fact that they're such a rich club and they have a rich history in producing results at big tournaments, will finish second. I think no one's expecting anything from Albania, and I think that'll suit them. I think they'll fly under the radar. They'll play their football without any pressure, and I think they'll get third. And I think at the very least, they might make round of 16, they might not. But I think at the very least, they'll be, that team that you'll think you'll coast through, but they just won't go away. It's like, dude, they can actually play football. And I think they'll get third in the group, and I think that'll be a really big thing for their fans. It's their first major tournament. And last in the group, I think, will be Romania. I don't, like I said, it could be the other way around. It's gonna be who can score those extra 1 or 2 goals. But I think they're gonna end up last in the group, because the last, I think, 10 friendlies they've played, they've drawn 7 games. Albania, on the other hand, got some big results against France and Portugal, so I think Albania can just squeak out some extra results here. And those are my predictions for Group A.